Howdy folks, Vic Moberg here, founder of Distilld. Decided to start making some videos showing how to make some of the cocktails that I showcase on the Instagram page. Number one, we're going to start off with the Manhattan. This is a fairly basic, classic cocktail drink, and yet it's one that whenever I go to a restaurant, somehow it always gets made, in my opinion, wrong. Now, the history of the Manhattan is a little convoluted. You can do some digging into that. But the basic recipe started off with American rye whiskey, about 2 portions of it, to 1 portion of an Italian sweet red wine or sweet vermouth. Nowadays, it's pretty popular to mix with bourbon. You can do it with scotches. And today, to honor the 101st follower of Distilld, I will be using Wild Turkey 101. So, to start off with, Manhattan is a drink that I think should be stirred, regardless. Well, unless someone requests it be shaken. However, if the bartender's default is to grab this cocktail shaker here, fill it with ice, and start going at it, I'm gonna respectfully ask that they make it again, neat and stirred. It could just be my personal opinion and my personal preference, but in my experience, when you shake a cocktail, you're adding ice. With a Manhattan, it's all booze. There's nothing but alcohol in the Manhattan. And by adding ice, you're diluting it, and the whole purpose is to showcase the flavors of each ingredient. Ice will cut it, and it'll make it murky. The flavor's not going to be as pronounced or as great. Now, if you stir it, it's a little gentler, you're not breaking up the ice as much, and it'll properly chill the drink and mix the flavors together beautifully. So, let's get rid of this guy. Cocktail glass. Start off with some ice in it. Number 1, 2 dashes of Angostura bitters. We're going to season the ice with Angostura. 1, 2, just like that. Start with the sweet vermouth. This is Martini and Rossi sweet vermouth. When choosing a vermouth, it's usually best practice to find one that will highlight rather than overpower the flavors of your chosen bourbon. I haven't done too much looking into which are the best blends. I usually just go for the Martini Rossi because it's more widely available. But we will take 1 ounce of this. Set that aside. And our bourbon. Again, Wild Turkey 101. We'll do 2 ounces. Give it a stir. Cocktail glass, usually served in a martini glass. I don't have any. And strain. For garnishes, the classic recipe that I've seen pop up numerous times is you actually use a lemon peel. Other popular garnishes are an orange peel or a candied cherry. However, I do warn you, do not use those cheap maraschino bright red pieces of garbage. All you're going to do is just contaminate the flavor of your beautifully crafted Manhattan with sickeningly sweet corn syrup. If you're going to use candied cherries, I highly recommend you use Luxardo brand candied cherries. They're actually soaked in a liqueur, and they're not as heavily processed, and they're a much nicer product. So, cheers to your good health. Thank you for your support. beautiful cocktail. Now, I mentioned this was in honor of our 101st follower on Instagram, and that person happens to be a good friend of my wife's and mine. Her name is Maria Beltowski, and she is a violinist in the Cleveland area. So if you or a loved one have some kind of special celebration, such as a wedding, winter weddings are very beautiful, and fall weddings are gorgeous too. She can provide music, and she did my wife's and my wedding, and it was phenomenal. She is phenomenal. She's an amazing young lady. You can find her on Instagram. Her name is, again, Maria Beltowski. Last name is spelled Beltavski. Beltowski. She also goes by the username mbelt96. Again, that is the letter M, BELT, the number is 96. So, if you or someone you know are looking for a violinist, she's beautiful, beautiful musician, give her a DM. She's working on a website, and she's an amazing young woman to work with. So, Maria, cheers to you. Thanks for following us, and thank you again for playing so beautifully at our wedding.